You have been watching us on MTA International Africa, and for most of the viewers, you must be wondering, what is MTA? What is MTA International Africa, and what is MTA International at all? And what is its relevance in this day and age? That is the official mouthpiece of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, but how it has grown from its humble beginnings into what you see today is something that goes to show the truthfulness of the founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, may Allah alayhi salam. And that is because that Allah the Almighty vouchsafed a prophecy to him that I shall cause thy message to reach the corners of the earth. And through MTA, as you can see today, the message of the promised Messiah alayhi salam is truly being propagated to the corners of the earth. With me today in the studio, I have three very distinguished guests who are also part and parcel of the MTA Africa and MTA as a whole family. Immediately to my right, I have Dr. Akin Reti Saab, who is the coordinator of MTA Nigeria. Dr. Saab, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
And then I have Mubiru Sahib, who is the coordinator of MTA Uganda and also the Naib Amir of Uganda. Mubiru Sahib, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And to my far left, I have Abdurrahman Cham Sahib, who is the coordinator of MTA the Gambia. You are also welcome. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Well, without much ado, let's go straight into the discussion. I want to begin with you, Mubiru Saab, being the one in the middle. When we talk of MTA, can you give us an insight about, how it has grown to what it is today, where it started from, and how it has grown over the years?
Jazakum Jaza Afisab and our respected viewers. MTA as a satellite channel, it was launched by the fourth Caliph of the community, Hazrat Mirza Tahir Ahmad, rahimahullah ta'ala. Initially it started as a small channel, but has grown, whereby you have a number of satellite channels under MTA. When we talk about MTA Africa, we have a number of studios which have been launched in the past few years. And not only opening up channels, also we broadcast in over 17 languages. Not only that, when you also look at MTA Africa, we have established collaboration with external channels. And these channels do air our programs. And so doing, the message of Ahmadiyya has been spread, has been propagated with MTA. And to talk about the volunteers and the devotee, we are few, but now the numbers keep on increasing day by day. So in a nutshell, MTA has grown and the sky is the limit.
Well, I think talking of external channels, even in this live broadcast, we have about 24 external channels that are also broadcasting it live to viewers across Africa. But it is not just because MTA has had, collaborations with external channels. It has grown to the stage that now we even offer training to some national countries. But it didn't start like this. Chamsab, it didn't start like this. I want you to come in.
Of course, like Mubiru Saab rightly mentioned, MTA started with a very small setup. I think in Fazal Mosque there, small team of few people. And it's only through the divine intervention of Allah Almighty, the vision of the Khalifa of the time. And also, I can say even MTA, if you look at it, the vision even didn't start, during the time of the Khilafat of the Promised Messiah, because Hazrat Masih Maud, when the audio system started, he had a vision. But of course, that vision, like the prophets, when they come, they cannot fulfill everything. Yeah. Their Khulafa will come, their members will come. Those are the ones who will fulfill some of the wishes that they had. So alhamdulillah, this reminds me when MTA Gambia setup was coming, Hazur said in Jamaat, we start with humble beginnings. And indeed, MTA started from a very humble beginning. And today, just yesterday, I was telling somebody, I said, looking at where MTA started, just a span of few years compared to BBC and the ITV and others, the progress MTA made up to today, it cannot be compared to others. That that is only through the divine intervention of Allah Almighty and the guidance and the vision of the Khulafa of this Jamaat.
Indeed, you said something very interesting, that the prophets, when they come, their wishes, some are fulfilled during their lifetime and some are also fulfilled even after their lifetime. That reminded me of a wish of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said that I would love and wish to have a certain house and a window that opens to the houses of all my companions, so that anytime I want to speak to them, I could just open the window and speak to them. And that is the window that we actually have now in the form of MTA. The Khalifa speaks to us anytime that he wants. He can speak to Ahmadis across the world. And recently, Nigeria had a studio in their country as well. Let me go to Nigeria, our neighboring Anglophone country. Akinreti Sab, how has it been? What is unique about MTA Nigeria?
Well, first of all, we'd like to express our appreciation to His Holiness for granting us the permission of upgrading MTA studios in Nigeria. So on behalf of the Amir and the entire Jamaat in Nigeria, I'd like to say thank you to Rizul. What is remarkable about MTA is the fact that it was able to connect with the people in the local languages. In Nigeria, our programs were focused on two main languages, Yoruba and Hausa. And because that is the language that we think will be able to bring the messages home to our people. Erioro, Islam in Yoruba has been a program that has been delight to our viewers back home in Nigeria. Another one is Muslim the Hausa program too, has also been extremely good to our viewers. What we are taking home is that we've moved from programs within the studio also to record program outside. So our documentaries, which are the village documentaries, are top-notch. And it has given opportunity to Nigerians and other viewers across the globe to appreciate the spread of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat in terms of the true teachings of Islam, in terms of the peaceful coexistence, and more important is the sustainable development of the community. That, I think, is the major strength of MTA, and MTA Nigeria has come up with strength.
MTA Nigeria also has carved a niche for themselves in terms of news.
Yeah, absolutely.
But talking,
we were rated in the studio by
mashallah.
Zoo. We appreciate that.
Yes, mashallah. But talking about the village documentaries, for instance, today, in fact, shortly after this discussion, Huzur will be coming to deliver an address which traditionally talks about the progress of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community and how it has spread, across the world. And the village documentaries actually bring out what actually is happening on the ground. The people who have converted, talking to the people on the screens of how they converted. People might think that it's just a report, but that's actually backs what Huzur is saying. And this is being carried out by MTA Africa. Mubiru Sab, you have seen MTA Africa grown from strength to strength. How was it like growing from the beginning?
When you look at MTA Africa, I can relate that to the revelation of Hazrat Masih Maud, where Allah revealed to him that I shall cause the message to reach corners of the earth. As you earlier said, as we earlier mentioned, that with the collaboration with the external channels, those channels do air our programs. I remember one incident last year. It was during Jalsa Salana actually. Huzul was in the ladies' marquee talking about women's rights, and we received feedback. To mention, there are a number of them, but I will only mention one, where someone from the eastern part of the country, she said that I didn't know that also Muslims do advocate for women's rights, and I'm really moved with that man in the turban, So that shows that how actually MTA has grown. That people deep in the village also have come to watch MTA. Not only members of the Jamaat, but even non-members. Just like as the Prophet said that when Jesus will descend, everyone will see him. Yes. So this has been, exactly by MTA that now we've seen that members of the Jamaat, even non-members, really every day getting the message of Hazrat Masih Maud, and then the Khalifa is talking to the entire world.
MashaAllah, I can see Chamsa wants to say something to that effect as well.
Just to add to his comments, I think MTA Africa, for example, when we talk about MTA Africa, it started, like I'll come back to the humble beginning.
Yeah.
Started from Ghana, I can say, at the mission house, a small room there, few team members. Then alhamdulillah, after that, a big studio is there, which I was lucky. I can say I'm fortunate to visit that very beautiful studio in Ghana. And from there, MTA started in different countries. Today you go to like Gambia, you go to Nigeria, Mali. It's progressing, and the speed that MTA Africa is progressing at, sometimes, you know, you wonder how is this even possible within few days. So you can say, I'll just come back to all, this is all about the vision of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih. And our brother Qasim rightly mentioned that the very biggest blessing of MTA is making, because I used to tell my staff members sometimes, I say we are very fortunate to be working for MTA. For example, somebody sitting in a village, in a remote village, who when Hazur speaks in Urdu or in English wouldn't understand what he's saying. But luckily for us now, in the local languages, MTA, whatever Hazur says, whatever programs are happening, these are being translated. And it's such a blessing. And sometimes I even wonder whether we even appreciate enough the blessing of MTA Africa.
Yeah, indeed. You know, what MTA is actually doing, we might not be able to, you know, ascertain it well sitting in the studios. But people do send their messages that my marriage was on the verge of breaking. It's only when I listened to something that was a program on MTA that I got a change of mind. People are transforming, you know, due to His Holiness's addresses and all that is going on MTA. So it is very, very massive. But it is not just like that. There are people behind whatever is going on. As you are the coordinators, you are working, you know, day and night in that regard as well. But I also want to say that through the guidance of His Holiness, things are being done as they are supposed to be done. And the director of MTA Africa, I can remember that he said he has been to Ghana for more than 40 times, and he, you know, literally went to buy everything, the chairs and everything himself, trying to make sure that, you know, everything is in place. But Akin Retisa, we have the full-time, you know, workers. But we also have people who are as dedicated as even the full-time workers, but they are volunteers. Can you talk a bit about the volunteers of MTA?
Yeah, another strength of MTA is the capacity of volunteers to deliver, you know, at beck and call. This is unique to us because other international broadcasters had to pay quite a lot, you know, to get content, to get producers that come along. But for us, it's so seamless because people believe that they are working for Almighty Allah and they will be rewarded, you know, appropriately. And so we have streams of volunteers, you know, importantly young and old, that are coming in to give their best in all aspects of broadcasting. And that has actually helped MTA, you know, to grow exponentially. And in terms of other ideas that some of these volunteers are also bringing from their various callings. For example, we have some volunteers who are working in state broadcasters in Nigeria, radio, television, online, that will come along and just give us ideas on how to are going to improve our content. And that's, to me, is extremely important. I also need to share I share one experience with you that at the time one of our external broadcaster decided not to even air a program due to pressures. I mean, the chairman had to come and said, look, I don't understand what is going on because I keep getting calls outside Nigeria telling me that, no, you can't stop this program on MITV. And so the program was revived. That's to show to you that a lot of viewers appreciate the effort of MTA, not only in Nigeria, but across the world.
Well, time is not allowing us to continue this discussion. It's growing more and more interesting. But we can't go without talking about the guidance of His Holiness. Chamsa, would you quickly tell me some of the guidance that His Holiness gave specifically to MTA?
I can say during the Mulakat of MTA Ghana, especially with Hazur said he wants MTA Ghana to be the best in Africa, I would say. So to me, when Hazul gave that guidance to Ghana, I said this is not only for Ghana, but of course this is for MTA Africa, because that Ghana was representing MTA Africa in that Mulakat. So that's why we will all strive our best to make sure that MTA Africa becomes the best in Africa. And there's no doubt with the prayers, with the guidance of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih, that can be achieved, and that is achievable, and that is being seen. Because of why I'm saying this is, like you mentioned, we are giving trainings to the national TV. We are, sending experts. We are helping, upgrading studios and all that. And just recently, one more point, recently the national TV came to MTA to record, and they were so amazed about the discipline of the staff. So it's all about that dedication of the staff of MTA, that, devotion, that sacrifice that they do. They do this only for the sake of Allah Almighty, and that is the progress.
Thank you very much for this wonderful discourse. We would have wished that it continued, but time will not allow us.